In the winter, my sidewalk and driveway can get slippery and dangerous, so I'm gonna see if I can fix it with this. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I have this. It's by Chapin. I've had stuff from this company before because they make a lot of outdoor use tool stuff, and this was inexpensive, but it seemed like a really awesome deal. What this is kind of looks like a seed spreader, but it is for salt or for the chemicals that you use to melt ice. And I was actually really impressed with this on the listing because it seemed to have a lot of features and be priced kind of like one of those hand scoopers. So a lot of them are just like scoopers that you scoop into the salt and then sprinkle it by hand. But as you can see, this one has a big bucket right here for scooping up the salt, has a little auger right in the bottom there, and it will distribute that by turning this handle and it'll spray it out. So it's kind of cool because you can scoop it, spray it, and distribute it nice and evenly. So I'm pretty excited about that. And like I said, it was one of the cheapest ones out there. So right now we got to see if this thing will work. So I want to give you a little tour of what we've got here. We've got the big reservoir up here. You can see we have some teeth here. So as you're grabbing it by the handle back here and scooping out the salt or the chloride or whatever you use to melt the snow, it makes it easy to scoop it up. But also because sometimes if there's moisture in the air, it kind of fuses together. That salt becomes kind of like a big brick. This will help you break it up. You can see we have a big opening here. I feel like this is almost like half a gallon, maybe a couple of quarts, you know. And you can see down here we have the little spinner. And if I crank on this handle right there, you can see how that spins around, agitates the rock salt, and allows it to go into this little opening right there. And that little door is controlled by this trigger right here. So if you can see, it opens and closes just like that, right? Now, one thing I will show you, if I pull the trigger down all the way like this, it opens up that little door all the way. But what we have back here is a little lever that allows me to adjust how much that trigger opens that door. So you can see here I've moved it, and now it only opens maybe about 2/3 of the way. So that's going to kind of thin it out, you know. You can see that in there. And then if I push it down here to 1, all the way down to 1, and I pull the trigger on it only about halfway. So that's going to allow you to not have to worry or control it with your finger. You can just set it, you know, especially if you want to be a little judicious on how much you spread it. I'm going to start it on 2 and see how that works. But then you won't have to worry about dumping out all your stuff. Now, as you are cranking it, that little blade in there is agitating it, but you also got this little disc here that is throwing that salt out in front of you. So I think this thing is pretty clever. It's going to be icy and snowy here over the next day, so let's get it outside and try it out. All right, so I have my salt melt here. Gonna go ahead and just scoop in a little bit of this. It's actually kind of nice because I can just scoop it out of the bag without having to pour this into like a small garbage can or something like that. So now I have it. I actually have this on the lowest setting here just because I don't know how much I need to really spread. I definitely have some snow and ice on the walkway here and don't want delivery people to fall and hurt themselves. So let's give this a try. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna pull the trigger and ooh, look at that. It's coming out. And I can see where it's falling. And that's just about the amount I want. I guess if you have a lot of ice, you might want to throw a little bit more down, or if you're a faster walker than me, you might want to throw it down, but I like that. Now, actually, if I just go up one notch here, just wonder what that'll look like. Ooh, yeah, definitely coming out more. Right up here, get a little slick, so throw that down there. You can see how that's working. If I pull the trigger there, you can see it going out there, so might have to fill this up a little bit more and put some down on the driveway where people walk up here, but I like it. Man, I used to use a dustpan and just kind of sprinkle it, and this is just way easier. Scoop it up, do this. My hands are free. They're not getting stuff all over them. Pretty awesome. So, hey, if you want to pick up this little Chapin salt spreader for your winter activities, I'll put a link to it in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper.